Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Daniel Mashawa, Executive Dean, Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment. Professor Sun, our inductee, special word of welcome to you. Prof Yen, our respondent, which is also the head of department in the Department of Mechanical Engineering Science at the University of Johannesburg. Our online audience on YouTube and Facebook, senior leaders of the university, members of Senate and other academics, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sani Bonani, goeienaand, good evening, Tobela. It is indeed a great honor and special privilege for me to welcome you to the Professorial inaugural lecture of Professor Sun. As I do so, I wish to express a warm word of welcome to her loved ones, special guests and her colleagues. This is indeed a proud and joyful, yet a landmark moment for all of us, Professor Sun, for you as well, and of course for us here at UJ and higher education in South Africa and beyond. The inauguration of professors is a public ceremony in which newly appointed professors are inducted into office by the Vice-Chancellor and they deliver their inaugural addresses. The ceremony has its roots in the medieval university and serves multiple purposes. I will highlight two of those purposes. Firstly, it is an expression of welcome and an entry for new professors joining the circle of colleagues who are already professors. And secondly, it provides a platform for the professors to display their expertise in the discipline and showcase their research. Today we gather to bear witness to the entry of Professor Sun to the illustrious community of scholars at our university. It is a celebration of the contributions to the discipline and ultimately the impact on society. Professors provide the university with its identity, character and academic legitimacy and integrity. The inaugural lecture is a rite of passage following the confirmation of the appointment of the person as a professor. This evening, we will listen to Professor Sun, as we say, as the gown goes to town. By this, I mean that the power of the inaugural address is when the expertise is showcased beyond the corridors of our university and reverberates within society. It stands out as a moment of pride for the incumbent, the family, fellow scholars, the university, and ultimately society. For the German philosopher and diplomat Humboldt, a university referred to the whole community of scholars and students engaged in a common search for truth. Newman talked about teaching universal knowledge. Recently, universities has been viewed as instrumentalist, serving the purpose of the economy or utilitarian in its purpose. I would hope that we can break out of these narrow conceptualizations and reflect on the university as contributing to the public good. Edwards said in an article named On Defiance and Taking Positions, offer a formulation of the ideal role of the true intellectual as, and I quote, one who commands a vast knowledge of his or her discipline, who is rigorous in the analysis of literature, who views being an intellectual as a vocation. The intellectual will consider it necessary to step into the public sphere and to speak truth to power, namely to question, interpret, and understand authority rather than consolidating it, to step out of the boundaries of the academy to connect oneself, to affiliate oneself, to align oneself with an ongoing process or contest of some sort, perhaps with the aim of improving the lot of the oppressed. The intellectual who functions as a kind of public memory to recall what is forgotten or ignored, to make the connections that are otherwise hidden, and to provide alternatives for mistaken policies." Close quote. It remains then for us as a university with a Pan-African vision to drive our mandate as intellectuals and as professors. How do we embrace the role of a professor as a disruptor while continuing to be a flagship carrier of our disciplines? This evening we will listen to Professor Soon as one further step in the journey of being a professor. This is a journey, Professor Soon, which does not culminate once this lecture has been given. It is a self-reflective pause in the journey of the professor, with a promise of more to enrich our minds and simultaneously contributing to the rich intellectual body of work in the discipline. Let me now invite the Executive Dean, Professor Daniel Mashao, to introduce Professor Soon. I thank you, Ria Laboga, Siyabonga, baie dankie.
It's indeed my pleasure as the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment to introduce our professorial inaugural speech of Professor Yanxia Soon, who is currently acting as the Acting Executive Vice Dean of Research and Internationalization. Professor Yanxia Soon got her joint qualifications of D.Tech in electrical engineering from the Tshwane University of Technology, South Africa, and a PhD in computer science from University of Paris, EST, France in 2012. She has 13 years teaching and research experience. Currently, she is serving as a professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering and acting Vice Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment at UJ. Yanxia Soon is doing research in evolutionary optimization, swarm intelligence algorithms, neural networks, nonlinear dynamics, and renewable energy systems. She published over 121 papers, including 44 ISI Master Index Journal papers until May 2021. She has supervised 10 PhD and 3 master students to completion. Currently, she is supervising 8 PhD students and 5 Masters of Engineering students. She was awarded the South African National Research Foundation, NRF, rating of C2 in 2021 to 2026, and a Y2 from 2015 to 2020. She is serving as an IEEE Vice Chair of the South African section and IEEE Senior Member. She was awarded with South African Academy of Young Academy of Science membership in 2018. She was the principal investigator of the 16 research grants, including grants from NRF, Industry and Institute. She is registered as a professional engineer with the Engineering Council of South Africa, a signatory of the Washington Accord. It's indeed our pleasure today to celebrate this momentous occasion of the professorial inauguration of Professor Yanxia Soon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my inaugural address. Firstly, I would like to thank Prof Swart for welcoming address and Prof Marshall for introduction. And secondly, I would like to thank my colleagues and my friends and my family for your support and assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and colleagues, the topic for my presentation is evolutionary optimization algorithms and renewable energy systems. My presentation includes 4 parts. First one is introduction of optimization, evolutionary optimization algorithms, application of evolutionary optimization algorithms to renewable energy systems, and finally the conclusion will be given. We may have some question that what is optimization? And what is the process of optimization and how we can understand optimization? Optimization is the process of finding optimal solutions for objective problems. And like this picture showed, which one is better than the others? The better solution is the solution we need to find for the objective problems. In this slide, I will give a simple example of optimization. There is one red face at the back of the classroom, and he would like to arrive at where the pink heart is. This is the first route, and this is the second route. Which route is the better one? The shorter one will be the optimization solution we will choose. And this is a simple example. We can see that optimization exists everywhere. Optimization is already in our brain. For some other examples I would like to show in this slide is a traveling salesman problem. In the previous slide, we can see that the optimization problem is easy to be found, the solution. But for this one, the traveling salesman problem, it is not that easy for us to find the solution directly or find the solution through classical methods. The traveling salesman problem is given like that. A list of cities are given, and the distances between each pair of cities are also determined. And the traveling salesman need to travel each city once and only once and return to the original city he left. And how we can find the best solution for the traveling salesman? The shortest route will be the best solution. And from this picture, we can see that after 124 iterations, with the assistance of a geometric algorithm, and the shortest solution will be found. So in this example, the traveling salesman traveled the lower 48 states capitals of America. And for this example, you can see that for the classical methods, it is not easy for us to find the solution. We can apply evolutionary optimization algorithm to assist us to find the solution. For optimization, it includes single objective optimization or multi-objective optimization. It depends on the number of objectives need to be optimized. For example, for the single objective optimization, there is only one objective function involved in the objective problems. And for example, we need to find out of a car with the minimum cost. The only objective for us is to minimize the cost of the car. That is the single objective we need to find the solution for this kind of problem. And for this kind of single objective optimization problems can be abstracted as the following equation, like equation 1, subject to some constraints. And for multi-objective optimization means that there is more than one objective function involved in the objective problems. For example, we need to find out a car with the minimum cost and maximum comfort. The objectives for these optimization problems are to minimize the cost and to maximize the comfort. The multi-objective optimization problems can be abstracted as equation 2, subject to the constraints. And in equation 2, xi is the objective function vectors and with the nth dimensions. In the multi-objective optimization problems, most of real application are multi-objective optimization problems. And the most important concept we need to understand for the multi-objective optimization is a Pareto optimal set. How we can understand the Pareto optimal set is that a solution is said to be a Pareto optimal if and only if there does not exist another solution that dominates it. This kind of a set of all the Pareto optimal solutions is called the Pareto optimal set. And in this slide, we would like to have a look that the first objective problems are to maximize the functions f1 and f2. And you can see that the Pareto front is shown here. And for all the points on the Pareto front, they can dominate any point which are not situated on the Pareto front. But the point on the Pareto front, each of them can't be dominated by any other. So that is the Pareto front optimal set is the solution we need to find for the multi-objective problems. Evolutionary optimization algorithms are a type of artificial intelligence. It is motivated by the nature. For the fitness function, we can apply the repetitive of operations of crossover, selection, and mutation to improve the performance and then finally find the best solution for the objective problems. The evolutionary optimization algorithms, first evolutionary optimization algorithm I would like to introduce is genetic algorithm. Genetic algorithm was proposed in 1957, and it is the oldest and well-known evolutionary optimization algorithm which is motivated by nature. For the genetic algorithms, proceed to initialize a population of solutions randomly and then improve it through repetitive application of a crossover, mutation, and selection operators. And for the population, we can see from this figure that it consists of different chromosomes. And for each chromosome, it consists of several genes which are represented as 1 or 0 in the program. How the generic algorithm work during the optimization process. And firstly, we generate random population for the evolutionary generic algorithm And then we randomly select A1 and A2, the chromosomes, to do the crossover firstly. For the first step of crossover, we can see that the first part of A1 and A2 will be exchanged with each other. Then we will have the new chromosomes A5 and A6. For A5, for example, for A5, the second step is to do the mutation. For the mutation, some genes will be do the mutation with the opposite genes will be replaced the original ones. Like 0 will be represented 1 and 1 will be exchanged to 0. And for the new chromosomes generated through the crossover and the mutation, we will check the performance of a fitness function. For the one with the better fitness performance, we will keep it, and the one with the bad performance, then we will leave it. That is how the genetic algorithm work for the optimization process. And in this slide, an example of an application of a genetic algorithm to the nanoelectronic devices and materials and microelectronic filters is shown. And this is a single objective optimization. And the chromosomes will do the crossover and selection and mutation, and then after about 300 steps, the chromosome will arrive at the best solution for these objective problems. And for the second evolutionary optimization algorithm I would like to introduce here is differential evolution. And if we check the Web of Science for the publications in last 5 years, the papers related to generic algorithms are about more than 1.3 million. And for differential evolution, the publication is more than 100,000. And those are the two most popular evolutionary optimization algorithms. For this algorithm, differential evolution, it was proposed by Stone and Price in 1997. And for this algorithm, it doesn't require for the optimization problem to be differential. That means the objective function space can be continuous. And several operations are used in this method: mutation, crossover, and selection. The same operations are used as the genetic algorithm, but the process is different. How this evolutionary algorithm work for the optimization? Firstly, we randomly generate a population and then choose one individual as a target vector. For the target vector, and then 3 random vectors will do the mutation firstly to have a new individual. And from the target vector and the new vector generated from the mutation, both of them will do the crossover and then generate a new vector as a trio vector. The trio vector will compare the performance with the target vector. The one with the better performance from the fitness function will be selected as the target vector of a next generation. And in this slide, at the right side, there is a picture, and you can see that this is how the differential evolution works for a standard benchmark function. And finally, the best solution is found by the individuals. And compared to the single objective optimization problems, multi-objective optimization problems are widely exist in real world, in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and civil engineering. The main point for us to find the solutions for multi-objective optimization is to get a good distributed Pareto. And regarding this point, we proposed an adaptive sharing scheme in 2017. And how this adaptive sharing scheme works, and firstly, we need to calculate the nearest distance between particles I and J, and then we secondly calculate the second nearest distances between the particles. And then we would like to calculate the sum of all these nearest distances for all the members of the Pareto front as equation 5. And then the sharing distance is chosen as equation 6. That is the adaptive sharing scheme was proposed as the process. To find the Pareto front for multi-objective optimization problems, we applied the particle swarm optimization to assist us to find the solution. Particle swarm optimization is one of the swarm intelligence algorithm, which is also inspired by nature. The main point of the particle swarm optimization algorithm is cooperation. It means that each particle can benefit from the best position of the particle itself at xi, and the best position from the swarm, like xg. And we divided the whole particles into several groups. For the first several groups of particles, we'll search around the Pareto front. According to equations 7 and 8, the particle will update the velocity according to equation 7, and then the particle will fly to another place according to equation 8. And in this equation 7, the core point is selected according to our proposed adaptive sharing scheme. And the second group of particles, we call it a spare swarm. And for those particles are updating according to equations 9 and 10. And that is to assist the particles to search the different places in the objective function space. To prevent the premature of the whole particles and keep the fast convergence property of particle swarm optimization, a small distance is added to one component of the particle vector of the spare swarm as equation 11. Just for one dimension, we would like to add a random value to assist the particles to search more space and improve the diversity and convergence of the whole group. To test the performance of our proposed method, some standard benchmark functions are used, like DDT1 and DDT2. And for DDT1 and DDT2, they have continuous Pareto front. And you can see that from our proposed method, the particles which are represented as red circles are well allocated on the Pareto front for the benchmark functions DDT1 and DDT2. And some other benchmark functions like DDT3 and DEB2 are also applied to test the performance of our proposed method. And for DDT3 and DEB2, the Pareto front are discontinued. And you can see that even for this kind of difficult situation, our proposed method can also get a good performance, and the particles are finally well allocated on the parietal front. There are also some other evolutionary optimization algorithms, like generic programming, and evolutionary programming, and evolutionary strategy, neural evolution, gene expression programming, and so on. For all those evolutionary optimization algorithms, they apply the same operations like mutation, crossover, and selection. Just the operators are different with each other, and the steps are different each other. Evolutionary optimization algorithms are widely used to engineering. That is because engineering problems have a good mathematical structure or mathematical function. So we can directly apply evolutionary optimization algorithm to renewable energy sources. For renewable energy sources, we all know that it is very important for our life. And renewable energy power sources like the solar power, the power generated from hydro, and the wind power, and so on. For these renewable energy sources will contribute 31% of the globe's entire power production by 2035. However, the intermittency and the climate dependency of the renewable power sources make their interconnection more complex and difficult. So sometimes the battery energy storage system will be used to assist us to install those power. For the application of a evolutionary optimization algorithm to renewable energy sources, and the following objectives are usually be used, like power loss minimization, cost minimization, the operating profit maximization, and so on. And we will consider the following objectives to be optimized for the renewable energy systems through the application of evolutionary optimization algorithms. I would like to introduce the application of an evolutionary optimization algorithm to renewable energy sources in two scenarios. The first one is a standalone microgrid with renewable sources. The second one is a grid-connected microgrid with renewable sources. Firstly, let's look at the first scenario. The first scenario is a standalone microgrid with renewable energy sources. And in Figure 12, you can see that the microgrid distribution system, management system, is connected with the end user, each householder, through the wide area network, the WAN. And for each end user, the household will also connect with the renewable energy sources, like the rooftop power. And in Figure 13 shows how the power is distributed to the end users. And in this application, we consider three objectives to be optimized. The first one is to minimize the energy cost based on distribution-based factors. And the second objective is to minimize energy cost based on usage data received from consumers. And the third objective is to minimize energy cost by minimizing energy losses due to voltage variation. The classical generic algorithms is not easy to be applied to solve the multi-objective optimization problems. And in this application, we apply the recent algorithm, the non-dominated sorting generic algorithm type 3, to assist us to find the solution. But as the numbers of the objective increased, the computation complexity will be dramatically increased and increased exponentially. And how to assist the algorithm to reduce the computation time and the complexity, and the wheel configuration is used to assist the algorithm to reduce the computation time. And for the wheel configuration, and this kind of topology structure usually is applied by the particle swarm optimization, one of the swarm intelligence algorithm to assist the particles to search the parietal front. And for this application, we apply the wheel structure, also called wheel configuration, to assist the algorithm to find the better solution. And you can see that from the first figure, there are 5 reference points are selected by the wheel structure, and it will assist the chromosomes to search around the parietal front. And for the Van Neumann configuration, there are 8 reference points to assist the chromosomes to search around the parietal front. This figure 14, shows how the reference points are allocated by different configuration. The first one is wheel configuration, and the second one is Van Neumann configuration. And figure 15 shows the concave parietal front of the price cost function. And the first subfigure in figure 15 shows that the real parietal front for this function. And in the second subfigure of figure 15, we can see that all the points, all the chromosomes are well allocated on the real parietal front. And the spread of a parietal set over the parietal front is shown in figure 16. We can see that this is also one important performance we need to check when we apply the evolutionary optimization algorithms to the application of multi-objective optimization problems. And after 8,000 steps, and we can see that the value of the spread is very small. That means the chromosomes are very close to the real parietal front. And in our calculation, the average of standard deviation and inverted generational distances are also used to test the performance of the proposed algorithms. And this is for the first scenario of application. The second kind of application I would like to introduce is grid-connected microgrid application with the renewable energy sources. In this second application, 2,500 standard South African homes are considered as end users. And we divided all the end users into 5 clusters. So each cluster has 500 standard South African homes. And 2 cases are analyzed in this study. The first one is utilization of renewable energy resources by the distribution supply operator. And the second case is the utilization of renewable energy sources by end users only. And it is also assumed that every household has one plug-in electrical vehicle. This is the model we proposed to assist us to save the energy cost. Demand response aggregator is widely used recently to assist the distribution supply operator to gather the information from the end users. And for the distribution supply operator, DSO, we consider that there is farm solar to generate the renewable energy sources, and there is also battery energy storage system to store those renewable energy sources, which is generated by the solar power. And for the end users, we consider that there is rooftop solar and also plug-in electric vehicle to be used to store the renewable energy sources. And in order to encourage the end users to be involved in this kind of system or model, and there is also a reward to end users to participate in the demand response program. And we also have a reward system to the aggregators for demand response aggregators to be involved. How to reward the end user is that if the end users cannot finish the renewable energy sources by the cluster of that group, and then the demand response aggregator will purchase the extra renewable energy sources from the end user with a higher price compared to the market. And also, at the peak time, the end users are encouraged to buy the renewable energy resources from the distribution supply operator at a lower price compared to the market. So the renewable energy sources generated by solar will be fully used by the end users and also among each cluster. And in this slide, the appliances, the schedule of each appliance of each end user is shown in this slide. You can see that for each end user, there are different appliances, but this is for a standard South African home. And the energy usage sharing can be plugged in or by some renewable energy sources during the daytime. And the price of the power we also use the 1 day ahead from the market. And for the cost of electricity generated by the distribution supply operator is obtained according to the first equation. And for the utilization of renewable energy sources by end users, we can be shown from the second and the third equation in this slide. And we also consider that the electric vehicle is charging or discharging within given time slot within the day. And the main objective for this application is to maximize the energy cost savings for the distribution supply operator and the demand response aggregator and end user. That is the objective we need to optimize, and it consists of 3 parts. And for the net energy consumption of 2,500 households, and in this figure, figure 18, we can see that in the first sub-figure, there is no implementation of a demand response program, And the second subfigure shows the last optimization iteration using demand response aggregator together with the renewable energy sources. And the third one, it shows the last optimization iteration using demand response aggregator and the renewable energy sources by end users. We can see that the energy cost consumption is from about 3.8 to 3.6 to 3.4. And compared the three applications, we can find that the subfigure C has the better performance of the net energy consumption. That means the performance with the demand response aggregator together with the renewable energy sources utilization by end users will have better performance. And we can see that evolutionary optimization algorithms are widely used in engineering. And if we can abstract the engineering problems to some mathematical model or mathematical objectives, then we can directly apply the evolutionary optimization algorithms to application. And it is not that difficult for us to apply evolutionary optimization algorithms to find the solutions for the multi-objective optimization. And for evolutionary optimization algorithms, they have the following advantages, like simple, robust, quick, extensible. And that is why we would like to apply renewable energy, apply evolutionary optimization algorithms to renewable energy sources. And for the evolutionary optimization algorithms, they also have some challenges like evolutionary optimization in dynamic environments at a large-scale optimization problems, highly constrained optimization problems, theoretical analysis. And for theoretical analysis, it is not easy for us to have the theoretical approval for those algorithms. And sometimes some algorithms have well performance for some specific objective problems, but it is not easy for us to apply this algorithm to all the objective problems. It may have bad performance for other objective problems. So this will depend on the researcher's experience and also try to many times for application. The next challenge is the high dimensionality and using feature evaluation as a performance index, inadequate modeling of smart grid optimization problems. And that is my presentation for today. Thank you very much for your patience with me. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this auspicious occasions of the inaugural lectures of Professor Yanxia Sun, and with the title of Evolutionary Optimizations, Algorithms, and the Renewable Energy Systems. I'm indeed very honored to be invited to respond to the inaugural lectures. And this actually brings us to the point of responding to the inaugural lectures. Climate change and the attendant effects are putting pressures on the energy sectors. Moreover, the commitment of nations to the Paris agreements to a net zero futures and means transformations to a low carbon economies. with the government of nations investing heavily in renewable energies, and thus the transitions from fossil fuels, there are and will be major disruptions in the electricity sectors. While renewable energies had the promise to mitigate these issues, its intermittent natures necessitate developing solutions to keep network stable. In incorporating these renewable energies, the energy industries is transitioning from a market-based commodity to a technology-driven solutions. Accurate estimates of power output and net load are becoming increasingly important as energy sectors use more variables generating source to maintain system stabilities, reduce carbon emissions, and optimize renewable energy resources. Furthermore, as we move into the fourth industrial revolutions, grid operators, developers, and consumers are leveraging artificial intelligence, opening the way for a more seamless transition to a higher usage of renewable energies. The ability of AI to provide better predictions capabilities enables improved demand forecasting and asset management. While its automations capabilities drive operational excellence, resulting in competitive advantage and the cost savings for the stakeholders. Integrating the complex natures of societies while meeting the energy demand require the optimizations of algorithms and to be able to integrate renewable energy systems. Prof Yanxia's research outputs of over the past years are of excellent capacities and qualities. The output reveals her innovative works on power systems and elucidate the significance of incorporating optimizations for power systems and renewable energies systems. Having known that power systems and renewable energies are major energies that of the South Africa's. Her research output are relevant for the economies of the South Africa's. Professor Sun's research outputs focus more on her works on swarm optimizations, neural network, nonlinear dynamic systems, control, and renewable energy. Attaining the sustainable energy utilizations and efficiency and the effective applications of the power systems. Her research works have made significant impact on sustainable energies and the environment. Not only that, her work also aligned with the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which represents a new era of innovation in technologies, one that is enhancing the human-machine relationship, unlocking the new market opportunities, and fueling the growth sectors of global economies. In conclusions, I have no doubt that her work in the field of artificial intelligence in renewable energies with no small increase help in meeting the demand. There are some of the things I expect of her. There are some of the things that she is currently doing, and her future work will continue to advance the 4 IRs, providing the solutions to problems of Africa and the humanity at large. Thank you for this opportunity to respond to her inaugural speech. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think as Professor Soon delivered the inaugural address, I think all of you would have seen this beautiful gown behind me, gown and cap. What we're going to do now in recognition of Professor Soon's inaugural address, we're going to recognize that inaugural address, the knowledge she shared with us, by robing her with this beautiful gown and putting the cap on her head, and that will highlight her entry into the world of a professor. Can I ask the Dean, the Executive Dean, Professor Mashao, to join me here, as well as Professor Soon, and then we will do the robing and capping accordingly. Welcome to the world of professors, Professor Soon. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to do a few thank yous. First of all, let me thank Professor Soon and the family for sharing her thoughts with us here tonight. It was a very insightful inaugural lecture. I really enjoyed it. Although I have to be honest, there's some places I didn't understand it. I have to be honest. But it was really a great lecture, and thank you very much. Let me also convey my thanks to you for your commitment, your hard work, your dedication on this journey to become a professor. It's not an easy journey, ladies and gentlemen. It's really hard work. And please convey my thanks to your family, your husband, your children, for their support for you during this significant journey. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Our respondent, Professor Yen, that so clearly highlighted the critical points of the inaugural lecture and also highlight how it could value society. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Our Executive Dean, Professor Mashawe, thank you for continuing to create an environment within the faculty where staff can flourish and continue on this journey to become professors. It is really much appreciated. Everybody that played a role in getting this event together for us tonight, the logistics around it, it really is much appreciated. And then everybody that joined us on YouTube, Facebook, that shared this wonderful occasion with us, thank you very much for your time. It is much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, please be safe. Take care of yourself. Wear your masks. Do sanitize. Keep a safe distance. And take care and have a good evening. Thank you very much.
The University of Johannesburg. The future reimagined.
Sorted. Well done. Thank you. Well done.